Cheers, YouTube. I'm here tonight with my red wine and my cozy book of The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I don't know if you call it a cozy book, but it's definitely a thoughtful book, which makes me think of red wine, which I enjoy greatly, and I enjoyed this book a lot. So if you've already read this book, I would love to hear what you thought and your feelings. Please comment below and let me know what your reaction to it was. I picked this book up because I had heard so many other people talking about it. I'd seen it on BookTube and on Instagram. Friends from college were posting about it. Everyone that I've mentioned it to that has read it has said, oh, I loved it. So I felt like, okay, I can't wait any longer. I have to pick it up. I read it very quickly. It was very enjoyable despite the heavy subject matter. The book is about Nora. She's our main character, and Nora is not really happy with where her life is. She's not happy with the choices she's made or the things that have happened to her. And I don't want to give too much away, but I think it's pretty common knowledge, even if you haven't read it, that Nora ends up in the Midnight Library, which is this alternate universe between life and death. And Nora's Midnight Library is manned by her favorite childhood librarian, Mrs. Elm. And when Nora arrives at the library, she sees shelves and shelves and rows of books. And Mrs. Elm explains to her that in each one of these books is a parallel life for Nora, dependent on decisions she's made. Some of them very small and some of them very big. And she encourages Nora to choose a book, to think about the things she's regretted, and to choose a book to go back and change that regret. The course of the book runs through Nora trying on these different parallel lives and seeing how those decisions impact not only her, but the people around her, some in good ways and some not so good. The book is very thoughtfully written, and as someone else stated, I'm going to steal from them, it's basically a self-discovery, self-improvement type book, but in fictional form. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were times I wanted to shake Nora and say, what is wrong with you? And there were other times I was completely empathetic to her and thinking, oh, this poor child. Throughout the book, I found myself underlining and circling and highlighting different phases. Do you write your books? I do. I know. I go back and forth with that. But they're mine. I'm going to keep them. I'm not getting rid of them. And I think when you take notes, as a teacher, I always encourage my students to take notes, most of the time on Post-its, but I love to write. So there's a couple quotes I want to share with you because I don't want to give away the book, but I do want to give you the essence of the book. So the first one is at the very beginning. It's a quote from Sylvia Plath. I can never be all the people I want and live all the lives I want. I can never train myself in all the skills I want. And why do I want? I want to live and feel all the shades, tones, and variations of mental and physical experiences possible in my life. Sylvia Plath. That kind of sets the tone for the whole book. And then about 143 pages in, there's this page that I really, really loved, and I want to share it with you. The header is Expectation, and it reads, Nora had always had a problem accepting herself. From as far back as she could remember, she'd had this sense that she wasn't enough. Her parents, who both had their own insecurities, had encouraged that idea. She imagined now, what would it be like to accept herself completely? Every mistake she had ever made, every mark on her body, every dream she hadn't reached or pain she had felt, every lust or longing she had suppressed, she imagined accepting it all. The way she accepted nature, the way she accepted a glacier or a puffin or a breach of a whale. She imagined seeing herself as just another brilliant freak of nature, just another sentient animal trying their best. And in doing so, she imagined what it was like to be free. Okay, so I don't know if that moves you as much as it did me, but as a child and as a parent, the line about her parents, who both had their own insecurities, had encouraged that idea, really just kind of knocked me over. Great line. Because the reality is that we all have our own insecurities. We have our own struggles. And despite ourselves or our best intentions, we are who we are. And that does have an impact and an effect on our children. I was impacted and impacted. That was really weird. Maybe I'd had too much red wine. But the insecurities and the struggles of my parents had an impact on me. And my insecurities and my struggles have had an impact on my children. Now, my hope is, as I continue to learn and grow and become the best me I possibly can, that the impact that I have on my children will be overall positive. But the reality is there's always going to be some things that we weren't quite right when we raise our children. But my hope is when they look back that they will feel like there was definitely more good than bad. But enough on that. So I just want to say I thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope those quotes kind of give you some insight into what this book is about, so you can make a choice of whether it's a book for you or not. I personally believe it's a book for everybody. I highly recommended it this past weekend when I was visiting my daughter and her roommates. We were out to dinner and I recommended that they all read it. It's very thoughtfully written, and despite its heavy subject matter, it's enjoyable and insightful. And I hope you read The Midnight Library. Let me know what you think of it. I'd love to have a conversation and connect with you. Subscribe, like, comment. Any of those things work for me. And I will see you next week. Hopefully twice, I'm hoping next week. I'd like to do a wrap up of everything that I've read in September. I've done some audiobooks and some other things that I want to tell you about. And then again on Friday, the 1st of October, it is fall, people. Woohoo! My favorite season. I'm going to kind of lay out the changes I want to be making and the movement of my channel and what I hope to be reading in October. So hope you have a great day. Hope you read The Midnight Library, and hope you connect and tell me what you think. Have a great evening, great day, all of those things. See you next week. Bye.